The year is 2025. The internet, once a beacon of free speech and democratic ideals, is morphing into something sinister. A silent, insidious coup is underway, orchestrated not with tanks and troops, but with algorithms and data points. This is the digital coup, a hostile takeover of our democracies, our freedoms, and our very lives, facilitated by the unholy alliance of big tech and authoritarian regimes. This is not hyperbole. This is the alarming reality we face. A reality I, as an investigative journalist, have been sounding the alarm on for years. The danger is real, the threat imminent, and the time to act is now. We must recognize the gravity of this situation before it's too late. Our democracies, painstakingly built over centuries, are teetering on the precipice. We must ask ourselves, how did we get here? How did we allow a handful of tech giants fueled by avarice and a thirst for unchecked power to become the gatekeepers of information, the arbiters of truth? The answer, I'm afraid, is far too simple. We, the people, allowed it. We traded our privacy for convenience, our autonomy for the illusion of connection. We are now living in the aftermath of this Faustian bargain, and the price we are paying is far greater than we could have ever imagined. The tech giants of Silicon Valley, once hailed as innovators and disruptors, have revealed their true colors. They are not the benevolent forces they pretend to be. They are, in essence, a broligarchy, an elite group of men who have amassed unprecedented wealth and power. They operate with impunity, their actions often shrouded in secrecy and shielded by an army of lawyers and lobbyists. But even these titans of tech are not immune to the allure of power. They have become, in a sense, hostages to the very regimes they help to empower. Lured by the promise of deregulation and the potential for even greater profits, they have traded their principles for access and influence. They have become complicit in the erosion of democracy, their silence speaking volumes. This is not a partnership of equals. This is a Faustian bargain, one where the tech giants may be enjoying the spoils for now, but ultimately, they too will be consumed by the very monster they helped create. Consider the case of Elon Musk, the self-proclaimed champion of free speech, the maverick entrepreneur who promised us a future on Mars, has, according to reports, crossed a line. His alleged access to sensitive U.S. Treasury data, a treasure trove of personal and financial information, is deeply troubling. This is not about Musk, the man. This is about the dangerous precedent it sets. When powerful individuals, driven by ambition and unchecked by ethical considerations, are granted unfettered access to such sensitive information, it strikes at the very heart of our democracy. It is a stark reminder that we are living in a new era, one where the lines between private enterprise and government power are becoming increasingly blurred. This is not a hypothetical threat. This is happening now, and it's time we wake up to the danger. Data is the lifeblood of the digital age. It is the raw material that fuels the algorithms that increasingly dictate our lives. From the news we consume to the products we buy, our every online move is tracked, analyzed, and monetized. And as artificial intelligence becomes more sophisticated, the value of this data will only continue to grow. But data is more than just a commodity. It is the digital embodiment of our lives, our experiences, our very selves. And when it is collected without our consent, used for purposes we never agreed to, it represents a fundamental violation of our privacy and autonomy. This is not just about targeted advertising or personalized recommendations. This is about the power to manipulate and control. With enough data, it is possible to predict and influence our behavior, to shape our thoughts and beliefs. This is the true danger of the digital coup. The situation we face in the U.S. is not unique. Across the globe, authoritarian regimes are using the tools of the digital age to solidify their grip on power. They are censoring dissent, spreading disinformation, and using surveillance technologies to monitor and control their citizens. In China, the government's vast surveillance apparatus, powered by facial recognition technology and artificial intelligence, is used to track citizens' movements, monitor their online activity, and silence dissenting voices. In Russia, state-sponsored troll farms manipulate social media to sow discord and undermine trust in democratic institutions. These are not isolated incidents. They are part of a global trend. And the US, once a beacon of democracy, is now at risk of succumbing to the same forces of authoritarianism. The implications of this digital coup are profound. As our lives become increasingly intertwined with the digital world, we are becoming more vulnerable to manipulation and control. Our personal data, once considered private, is now a valuable commodity, bought and sold by data brokers without our knowledge or consent. This erosion of privacy has a chilling effect on free speech. When we know we are being watched, we are less likely to speak our minds, to challenge authority, to engage in the kind of open and robust debate that is essential for a healthy democracy. This is not the future we were promised. The internet, once hailed as a tool for liberation, is now being used to undermine the very foundations of our freedoms. The situation may seem dire, but it is not hopeless. We can still fight back against this digital coup, but it will require a collective effort, a recognition that we, the people, still have the power to shape our digital future. We must demand greater transparency and accountability from tech companies. We must push for strong privacy regulations that protect our data from exploitation. And we must support journalists and whistleblowers who are working to expose the truth about the digital coup. This is not just about protecting our data, it's about protecting our democracy. Change starts with each of us. We must become more aware of our digital footprint, more discerning about the information we consume, and more vocal in our demands for a fairer and more equitable digital world. We can choose to opt out of data tracking programs. We can use privacy-focused browsers and search engines, and we can support organizations that are fighting for digital rights and freedoms. Every action we take, no matter how small, sends a message to the tech giants that we will not stand idly by while they erode our freedoms. The digital coup is not inevitable. We can still reclaim our digital future, but it will require a fundamental shift in our thinking. We must move beyond the narrative of technological determinism, the belief that technology is an unstoppable force that we are powerless to resist. Technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil. It is up to us, the users, to decide how it will be used. We must demand a digital world that is fair, equitable, and just. We must demand a digital world that empowers individuals, strengthens democracy, and upholds human rights. The time to act is now. Our future depends on it.